Kurtsev, and I'm going to talk today with you my last visit to UAV commercial show in London in 2016 October, and I decided to make some small speech about readiness of UAV drones to the security industry and how it's changed from the 2014 when I last visited and made some integration into CCTV industry. Then let's start from beginning and see what my recommendation and what I've seen on this show and how we can go forward with this. Then first, to people who absolutely don't know what is UAV, it's a few terms we do know today. Is somebody can call it drone, somebody can call it UAV, somebody can call it UAS. I've just copied it from the wiki, but actually the idea is a machine that can fly. It can be a quadcopter, eightcopter, or you can call it somehow copters if it can fly, and it can be stable with wings, but in fact it should be some brain machine inside that it can make some functionalities except of just flying, because if we take the remote control and we try to control the device, it's still not just flying where we just want that is fly. It can be, for example, detect the battery, that this battery is going to be last not about for all flight and go back to the base, or it can fly to definite zones. For example, it can fly to airports, zone A, zone B, zone emergency zones. It actually can follow the person, it can capture the person from different angles. Then the drone itself is like, you can call it brain machine that can do more than just flying. Then what I've done in 2014 with Indigo Vision system, I've made integration with DJI Inspire 1. It was partial integration. You could see the picture from the drone on the VMS, and you can capture the picture and see it after. And I've not made control integration in control center, which means you can't, for sitting with VMS, just click button on the keyboard and the drone flying. Somebody as a pilot should be with the drone and to piloting the drone. The control center or VMS could be only as an inspection tool what the flight detail was in this time when they piloted. And there wasn't zooner routes integrated. I will touch it in further detail. I will show you a picture what means zones and routes, but it wasn't integrated. And was to say that DJI Inspire 1 was controlled by the pilot, then it was controlled not automatically by the operator on the CCTV VMS system. The pilot was on the ground, piloted the drone, and the operator in the control center could see all the duration of the flight and could play back all the duration of the flight. Then let's see in the detail. This is big picture of what actually was done, just to let you know how you actually can integrate the drone with other system. It's not specially have to be such system, but what you can do. First, let's start with the drone. This is how it looks like DJI Inspire 1, and you possibly can find plenty of pictures of this device. I'm not going to recommend this device. I'm not going to not recommend this device. The device is actually quite good. It's 4 copters, have 4K camera. It can connect to the remote control, 2 kilometer range. Then in fact you can control it, be on ground, and the drone can fly 2 kilometers from you. However, it's no RTSP link, it's no UDP or OnWIF. As you know, the OnWIF for CCTV industry is quite essential now. Then it is connection of video from the drone to the control. At least it is encrypted, which is actually can be called quite secure, and it's come on the 2.5 gigahertz range, which is quite annoying because the Wi-Fi signal is 2.5 gigahertz as well. Then if your flying is indoor, which it can do, it might interfere with any other Wi-Fi signals. It depends how much is Wi-Fi signals available on this range. Then it's quite not the best, but it's doing his work. It can fly in rain and it's worst condition, and it can fly. Now, to get the picture into the control center, which is this one, this is operator can sit with the security system. It's effectively can get 4-kilometer range from the drone by doing this simple scenario, what you can see here. First, the signal arrived to the control system, which is controlling the drone. Now, this particular device connected through the HDMI cable to the encoder box, which is best if you can take on with encoder box. If you're doing this, I've used Antrica encoder box, which can actually create absolute on with signal, and then you have no problem with it, with actually any in most of the VMSs, because at least in DigaVision VMS uses on with as a standard. Now, this encoder box connected to, for example, Compact NVR, which is recording the signal. Now, you can use Wi-Fi booster, which give you 2-kilometer range from the NVR to the control center, which is effectively give you 4-kilometer range from here, but control center could be immediately be here, then it's just 2-kilometer range. Anyway, you should understand that the drone you can fly if you can see it. If you can't see it, you can't fly it. Then in fact, the drone seen only maybe 2 or 300 meters from you, it's maximum distance you can do. Then, worth to say, all the system is powered on batteries. Then, the first, if somebody as operator sits in control center, it is indoor. This all the system is outdoor and powered up by batteries. You can use plenty of batteries available already. Then, hope it's clear. This was in 2014, and was to say that what I meant by route zone management. The DJI Inspire 1 at least, and I know it's not just this drone, could be GPS settings for different locations, and it can fly himself. You don't need pilot to fly through the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, it's actually quite automatic device that flying through all the zones. And if you want to capture all this route to one control center, you can put here control center if it's in range of 4 kilometers, and the signal will come to this control center through NVR. If you're going back in a minute to this system, this supports flying alone, and we have, for example, 2 controls like this that controlling the one drone. Then we can use one control center VMS and one NVR. Okay, hope it's clear. It was in 2014. It was quite successful. Now let's come to the UAV commercial show that I was visited months ago, and what I've seen there, it was quite surprising, because first I've expected to be in Excel 2000, in Excel London, which was there. I've expected to see European biggest commercial UAV show. I've expected to see 3,000 plus professionals, maybe it was there, but I've not seen all of them. I've expected to see a lot of seminars. It was a lot of seminars, workshops. But before I going to what I've actually seen there, and why I'm so disappointed by this show, I want to say what actually UAV and how it can be useful drones in CCTV at all, if it's still market ready for CCTV, and if it's ready, how it could be utilized there, and because as you know we use PTZ, bullets, low light sensitive camera, infrared camera. We have plenty of different devices already available, and should we want to use drone and if it can give us any benefits, I do see benefits in, for example, mostly in inspection remote places. The drone can travel fast to the place, and actually you should send the people, if you have alert on the fence, should send the people actually to check the fence, because not all the fence will be controlled with CCTV cameras, and the drone might take this route much faster than the people. Now, as I said, we can inspect alerts from the sky as well, and to inspect big areas which you can't actually it's quite difficult to install 1000, 2000 cameras and inspect all the place at all if you can just make one route through the route system, and the drone can fly it once a few hours or even one every hour. Then it's very useful, and it's very useful if you will have some automatic route control like we have currently with PTZ, then have 6 zones, for example, and can turn himself every 5 minutes to new zone. Then there is many usages of drone already, as I can see. What I've actually seen in UAV show, I've seen very little number of manufacturers than attended. I did expect it much more. I know that more available, but they've decided not to visit London. Maybe because the regulation in UK is very tough for the drones. In fact, you can't fly, but same tough regulation available in Europe and in Australia and America have 4 different regulations for the drones. Then what I've more seen, I've seen few manufacturers that producing how to defend the airports or defend the cities against the drones. This is what I've seen, yes. I've seen right today on this visit is more specialized cameras with the gimbals. Specialized camera, I think I've seen about 4K cameras, maybe infrared cameras, low light sensitivity cameras. However, I've not seen night mode cameras, which is one of the essential cameras for security system. First, because you want to secure your area at day and at night, then you have to take some device that can capture your scene at night. But I've not found any. I remember in 2014, I'm not going to say which company it was, produced night vision camera for the drones. Hope possibly they're not doing it at all right now. The big improvement I've seen is collision avoidance and orientation improved, like they can fly much precisely with some gyroscopes and GPS together and to talk each other. Most drones now can fly indoor, which I've not seen in 2014. It was less drones could fly indoors. 4G LTE high-speed communication, which could be utilized as streaming protocol in the future instead of using like what I showed you before, direct connection between drone to control. And as I said, I've seen few companies making UAV interceptions, which is quite improvement. However, I've seen the price for this device is quite high. That's why I think it's quite difficult to go and sell it, because if the camera standard bullet can cost between $200 to $500 and you want to substitute, as we said, 10 or 20 such cameras, and you have to pay $4,000, $10,000 for the unit, it's quite difficult to see the benefits. Now I seen the drone which is quite useful. I'm going to show you some small movie like this. Let me show you the movie. The drone itself was observed with enclosure, and the good things of such drone, it can actually be thrown into the hole, and it can actually fly indoors easily, and you can inspect the area easily indoor by not actually afraid of some collisions or distractions the drone can make indoor. Then unfortunately I've seen just this company there, which was quite interesting and useful, but as you've seen maybe on the video, the drone itself is quite small, then you can't expect actually very good quality camera, which is quite predictable. That's why I was disappointed by seeing just this, and that I can say only just one slide. I want to touch more about what I do think still drone potentially could be utilized in CCTV market. First, we do inspect currently already open air mining, but with drones it's be much easier. A coal or oil refineries, the drones can fly very decent distances and inspect this area more frequently and with better quality. Of course, military, agriculture, crop scouting, who knows how it's currently secured. Mostly is fences, mostly is dogs, mostly is people that driving the car around, mostly is nothing. Then the drone can at least make some sort of inspection, and as well construction or infrastructure inspection, which is currently very hard to inspect. First, because the construction itself have nothing to steal, but sometimes it does materials that can be stolen. Therefore, it was perfect utilization. It could be perfect utilization for the UAV, and of course, police. Anybody can understand how the police can utilize drones. The next point I want to say, the problem I found so far, and they exist already and they've not disappeared, and that I've not seen its improvement at such points. For example, the power supplies. This is one of the big penalty or big issues of the drones, because first, even if we take the very decent and good drone, the flight is very restricted to the power battery, which maximum I found so far is 45, 60 minutes, maybe even less, but most of the drone can fly 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 50 minutes. What actually you can do for 15 minutes for CCTV industry when you need to secure the area for 24/7? It's quite annoying, and the batteries can explode. First, you need to replace battery very frequently, all the time. Then, when you see the drone, that at least two people have to manage this drone. One pilot, second is see that it's not broken, exchange the batteries. Quite difficult to go forward with this. And unless the drone doesn't have obstacle avoidance, it's quite difficult to say, okay, it is ready. No, it doesn't ready, because if you buy the drone and invest $10,000 for this device, and suppose you already made the infrastructure, which is can cost you another 20,000, and it's just crashed or smashed into the wall, you just lost everything, and it's quite annoying. Another big issue is, as I said previously, the camera quality is still not ready for the security industry. There's no night mode. Without night mode we can go forward, guys. Very small resolution, we don't need 4K actually, but we do need at least 1080p. Most of the drone, more than 50% drones, is using very small cameras with very small sensor, and some of the drones using tall photographs, which is JPEG. Who is actually working on JPEG on CCTV? No one. I'm not saying about MJPEG, it's fine, but unlikely it will move to MJPEG. And it's no streaming. Actually, it's no streaming, no OnView, no RTSP, and no H.264 actually. Yes, the good point to say actually is no remote control available. By remote control I mean we want operator sit in the his VMS and fly the drone or change the route on the fly. That's what I mean remote control. And for this we need some standard protocol, because each company doing some protocols that only them understand. It's not the drones mostly not flyable in any weather condition like storm or rain or even huge rain or huge storm, wind. I don't know what happened with the snow, possibly it can be considered as quite rain, but it's not flyable at any weather condition, definitely. I still think the price is too high, and it's no any SDK right now that you can take the drone, you can import the settings or write simple app to your VMS and everything is done. No, it's not so easy. Then so far I ended up with some summary of what I've said during this presentation, and especially if the UAV is ready in 2016 for CCTV market and industry, I definitely can say no, no and no. The UAV price is currently very high, very high. It should be improved and reduced. I understand it's quite difficult to produce decent device, but we should go to the reducing the price. It have to make some standard management control like only in security industry, which by lacking of not having this, we can be difficult with integration of this. The batteries is one of the big penalties. I know we still don't know how to replace the power with something else that not called the batteries, but this is, I think, one of the biggest problem right now. Obstacle and collision avoidance is not yet ready, and the reason is that each drone need at least 2 people to manage it. I'm not saying about operator. It's quite difficult. It's much cheaper to hire someone to drive the car than to pilot one drone.